Alright, let's check out Nano. So one of you asked me to cover this, so this is what I'm going to do. I had to basically scurry through like so many charts. I went through every single chart on TradingView, and this is the one with the most data. So we don't have too much data to run off. I thought this might be a new coin that came out in the past year or so, but it seems like this is one of the OG coins since all the way back here in 2017. Nonetheless, I cannot find a single exchange that has this listed past or previous to the 29th of July. So this is just the chart we're going to have to run off. So looking at this in the short term, it looks like this may have potentially bottomed. It is looking pretty good when we are seeing a decent amount of green volume stepping in for the first time in a decent while. Against Bitcoin, this is still in a very steep downtrend, but it does look like this could potentially be subsiding in the short term. You can also see this was listed on Binance and fell right through the table. So let's see when this was. Must have been somewhere around about here. I don't know. I mean, it comes all the way up to $10 from the 3rd of May. And this was only the 18th of February, so I don't know if this chart is a dud or not. We will go over to this chart, but it genuinely seems like this has been on a big drop for the past couple of months now. If we do look at the fibs, see where we're going from the low to the high, you can see we pretty much perfectly backtested the 618. If I move it down to the candle body close, no, I'm going to run it off the wicks. And yeah, you can see this pretty much held the 618, so it looks pretty good for a move back up to the upside and potentially breaking the 290 region before coming all the way up to 383, which is this 200-day moving average. That's personally where I would be looking, if I was to enter a short-term trade on this, to pull profit on this. I'm not necessarily sure if this is something that I want to hold in the long term, because this has a chart like XRP where it's got a massive blow off top all the way up here in the first bull market, lost all of its euphoria, lost all of its interest, and then when it did come up to make another local top or all-time high, this wasn't an all-time high, this was the all-time high of this bull cycle, which was lower than the actual all-time high, less than half of the all-time high. So this is genuinely losing some interest over time. So like I said, this isn't something I personally want to hold, but this has retested the 618 in the short term. So in the short term, this is still very much likely for a move back up to the upside. You can see if we keep on moving up, once we break 290, which I do think we are coming up to 290 very soon, that we would be coming up to 335. That's the first region where I think we could potentially be stuck at. And like I said, if you were to make a trade from where we are now, which I think is a fairly decent decision because we have back tested the 618 from the low to the high, if we move this up to where this uptrend really started, you can see this pretty much perfectly backtested the 618. So this seems to respect fibs pretty well. I would be looking for, if we were to go up pretty fast, I could imagine us getting stuck here very shortly before retesting and then coming up. And like I said, I personally wouldn't be looking to hold this past the 200-day moving average, but we also do have a 2.618 target up here at 410. So that is pretty much all I can chart from this. So in the short term, I am looking for a break of the 290, then I'd be looking for a push up to the 335, but I think as the 200-day moving average is, slowly tapering to the downside, I think round about this region here, obviously this is going to change over time. This is if we kind of just blast up in the next couple of days or so, in the next week, etc, which obviously I don't think is likely, but if we do do something like this where we do just slowly staircase up, you can really see us getting stuck anywhere between the 360 or 375, depending on how quick and how euphoric we go. So in the short term, this looks pretty great, I can't lie. I wouldn't say, this really isn't too much of a bull flag here. From a technical perspective, it is. We are in a bull flag right now, and once we do break the top of this, this would bring us pretty much to the 200 days. So yeah, all in all, looks fairly decent. Once we break out of this this little bull flag here, this is where I'd be looking to enter my trade. after we broke out the top of this, after we do break out the top of, you know, around about 245, you could see basically a massive increase of 50% up to 374. So that is all I see for Nano. Looks like a decent coin to hold in the short term, to make a short-term trade with a very small amount of your portfolio. Not financial advice, just what I'd personally be looking for, because like I said, you know, in the long term this has clearly lost its euphoria. So that is all I see for Nano. Best of luck if you are planning on holding this, and yeah, do be slightly cautious because the RSI and the MFI are very overextended on the daily. So, you know, like I said, a big push up like this, potentially getting stuck at 335 and 375 is where I'd imagine this would top out. But, you know, like I said, taking profit between 335 and 375 is probably a smart idea considering how overextended this is in the first place. But, you know, this could still go up a decent amount because we do have good volume coming in. This does have, I think this has a dirt cheap market cap from what I could see. The market cap 323 million. So yeah, it does have a dirt cheap market cap, and with cryptos that have these dirt cheap market caps, I don't always pay too much attention to the RSI and the MFI when they are in these big uptrends. So as long as we break out the top of this bull flag, 245 would be a nice place to enter the trade. I would be probably laddering my sells in. For example, I'd have a small sell in around the 290, then I'd have a massive sell selling pretty much most of what I've got around about the 335, and then I'd be looking to offboard all of the rest of my coins after we do get to 375. So that is all I see. In my opinion, this is really not something that I'd want to hold in the long term at all. But yeah, good luck if you are holding it. Best of luck. Once again, none of this is financial advice, just my own opinion on the market, and you've always got to do what's best for you. Cowboy out. Peace.